Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori, and today I'm going to be giving you part one of my book review of Brandon Sanderson's Legion. This first video is just going to be my overview of the book and my overall opinion of it. There will be no spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, you are welcome to watch this entire video. And then in the second and third video of this book review, I'm going to be digging a little bit deeper into the characters themselves, and then the third one is going to be about the mental health themes specifically in this book. So for this first video, I hope you enjoy. Here is my overall impression of Legion, The Many Lives of Stephen Leeds. So I'm going to be perfectly honest, this book impacted me more than any book I have read in the last probably 5 years, if not more. It was incredibly personal to me and I absolutely loved it. Now the crazy thing is, when I first saw this book, I had never heard of it before. I had no idea that Brandon Sanderson even wrote a thriller. I happened to stumble upon it on Book Outlet when I was looking for books. I typed in Brandon Sanderson's name and this popped up. The basic overview of the story is it follows a man named Stephen Leeds, who is kind of a savant kind of character, and he is perfectly in control of his hallucinations. It's kind of like schizophrenia, but Brandon Sanderson does a great job of not committing to any specific diagnosis, so he can explore a little bit. And the idea is that Stephen has learned how to completely control all of these hallucinations or aspects of himself. He's basically a genius, and each one of these aspects carries a specific knowledge base. Like, one is a forensic scientist, one is like a military and weapons expert, another one is a psychologist, and all of these hallucinations help him compartmentalize his knowledge so that when he is out solving cases, he can draw upon them at a moment's notice. This particular copy includes all 3 of the novellas that follow Stephen Leeds and his aspects. The first one is just called Legion, the second one is called Skin Deep, and the third one is called Lies of the Beholder. Now the amazing thing about this book, if you like thrillers and you like incredibly powerful, well done mental health themes, this book, I cannot recommend this book highly enough to you. It has just the right amount of balance with the mental situation that Stephen has and all of his aspects and how they all relate to each other as a group and how he controls them all. I would definitely say that it errs more on the side of the mental health theme than it does on the thriller theme. So if you're looking for something with incredibly complex thriller plot, this isn't quite that far. The thriller aspect is very interesting, and I found it to be just the right amount of intrigue outside of the character of Stephen. But to be perfectly honest, Stephen and all of his aspect characters do a fabulous job of providing their own mystery to the story, so you kind of have 2 going on at the same time. Sanderson has an amazing ability to create distinct characters, and each of the aspects that Stephen had was very well imagined, felt very real, very powerful, deep characters. Even the ones that were only in the story for a brief amount of time felt very realistic. As the stories go on, Stephen starts to kind of come to terms or come face to face with things about his condition and about his aspects and how they affect each other. He's solving the case out here, but he's also trying to run away from the case that's in his own head. And that, I think, is such an awesome balance of external versus internal storyline and plot line, and it was almost like we were following kind of 2 mysteries at the same time. As a really quick disclaimer, for anyone who has a history of mental health struggles, I will say that this book can be hard to read in some areas. So just go into it being aware of that. There are some sections of this that are that deal with some pretty heavy mental health issues, and I think it is done brilliantly. I was blown away by how well he handled it, how respectful he was to the disorders that he talks about in the book. Overall, this book is honestly one of the best books I have read in a very, very long time, and I was blown away by how well it handled the topic of mental health, and I was also blown away by just how well the characters drove the story. If you are looking for a character-driven thriller, this is definitely for you. It is so character-driven, it's not even funny, and I absolutely loved that about it. So that is my generic overview of Legion, The Many Lives of Stephen Leeds by Brandon Sanderson. If you have read this book, I would love to know your thoughts. So go ahead and comment below this video and let me know what you think of the book. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button and you want to see more content from me, please go ahead and join us because I would love to have you here. And I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I will see you in part 2 tomorrow.